Third topic. Illinois. Like I said, I'm dreading this topic tonight. If you're an Illinois fan who's coming to this video to hate watch this, or I don't know, I guess I don't really know what it would be. I feel like I kind of got victory lap tonight, even though I'm confused why other people were victory lapping, because I kind of think what happened tonight was the reason we had the conversation we had last week, even if people didn't like what we said. Like, we kind of implied there could be consequences to people realizing they're in small roles. And whether or not that's unhappiness or not, I'm not even saying it is unhappiness, because guys' body language was great today, by the way. Body language PhD goes both ways. Body language was great. Body language was great for Illinois tonight. It really was. There's still consequences. Like, a guy that I thought was going to matter for this team this year just decided to redshirt after the first game of the season. That's crazy. We're talking about Sencire Harris, if you don't know that yet. Brad Underwood came out with the news in the post game that Sencire has informed to him that he would like to redshirt. What I've been told, I did try to do some digging on this. I know Illinois fans are going to throw this out because I have no sources. The digging that I did was that this was a very unselfish move by Sencire. They are not expecting any transfer portal nonsense. This was him realizing he's kind of out of the rotation and he needs to get better, and he values his long-term career for Illinois. It remains to be seen if that's true. I tend to believe it. Straight up. You're not going to hear me come bash Sencire Harris for this. This is an unselfish move on paper from a guy that has only shown good qualities as a teammate. So if that's what happened here, very mature decision from a kid, and I applaud him for it. At the same time, Illinois had an up and down game tonight, which has happened for Illinois teams before. They were trailing Eastern Illinois early, down like 7 points early in the game, kind of flirted like around the 7 to 10 mark into like 10 minutes through the game. And then they turned it on quick. They ended up 12 at halftime. Again, flipped the switch, went on a huge run, and then just blew them out in the second half. Won the second half 43-27, 80-52 was the final score. And the story to me, Carter, was Dra Gibbs-Lawhorn. Once again, a name that we mentioned in the segment everyone got so upset with us on. I think my exact words were something along the lines of, you know that if DGL's not playing, he's not going to be happy. For the record, I stand by that. Do you know what happened tonight? He played, which is why we talked about why I think it's so important, is because, one, I believe in DGL's talent. I think through the moon, he's a talented basketball player. And two, if he's playing, if he's even just like a 15 to 20 minute part of the rotation, I think he's happy. And keeping DGL happy is important to me, because I think if you keep DGL happy, I think this whole team is happy for the most part. That's all I was trying to imply, even if I chose bad words. So from my perspective, it was great to see Dra Gibbs-Lawhorn be great tonight and play real minutes. He played 19 minutes. He had 18 points, 7 for 10 from the floor, 2 for 5 from 3, 3 assists, 3 rebounds. I thought the kid was a massive part of why Illinois was good tonight. What did you see from DGL?
Yeah, I mean, I think we saw a kid that we were high on, and we knew that he would be a guy that when he gets onto the floor, he'd be able to make an impact. And to go off your comment, I think this is kind of how I would clear it up, or if I worded it wrong as well. It's impossible to keep every guy on a team happy. Whether it appears that they're happy or it appears that they're not, it's impossible to do so. But what I'll say is that as a coach, if you have a chance to keep talented guys happy, you should do that because they're talented. So in a game like today, DGL's probably feeling really good because he got his minutes and he had a good showing. And that's good for him, because I think that gets him feeling good about himself. And also it affects winning in this game. Granted, it's against lower competition, but like those minutes, him playing, him being successful, I think that will lead to something going down the line for Illinois. And I think that he can be a part of the success this season. So it's good to see. And it's not us anticipating drama of any sort for Illinois. I'm a guy who picked Illinois to be just to flirt with being a top 4 team in the conference, and Terrence Shannon Jr. to be an All-American, and Coleman Hawkins to do this and do that. So, I'm looking for this team to have success. And I think they will. And I think they have the role players in place to do it. And they got out to a slow start, but they were able to pull away in the second half. So it's not that really you can say negative about this game. A lot of guys played. I do want to comment on the Sencire Harris thing, though, just because it's just odd to see a guy do that in today's day and age. But I think it speaks to who Sencire is as a kid. Like everyone who speaks about him kind of talks about how he's a team first, self-aware type of guy. And he was self-aware that he's not going to have minutes this year. And credit to him for doing that. Kind of hurts me a little bit because I like watching Sencire on the floor. Like even if I just feel like there could have been some minutes for him this year as a change of pace press type guy. Now, maybe granted, not a lot, but I do think there's a certain skill set that he brings that could help Illinois as a change of pace in some situations. But, he realizes he's not going to get the minutes that he wants this year, and he's redshirting, which is very rare, I think, in today's day and age, especially if it's not because of an injury. It's just a kid himself saying, you know what, I want a redshirt.
Yeah, couple things that I want to talk the basketball side of this. I don't like that we're making this all about like happiness and body language and what does it mean, drama again. But I feel obligated to discuss it because we had the conversation last week and so many people got upset with it. So we're not going to run from it. We'll talk about it. I think if you told me this was going to happen from a player on Illinois after this game, but you didn't tell me who, I would have hoped it was Sencire Harris because I would say genuinely, I believe that Sencire would do this and mean it sincerely. You like that? That was smooth. That was smooth. But seriously though, I think like, look, Illinois has spent all offseason telling anyone who will listen that they replaced bad locker room guys with good ones. And I've made jokes about it because I think you need good basketball players, not good people. But the truth is, great teams have both. Like you have to have players that like each other, that are also good and fit together well. And it is true. Illinois right now has the makings of a really good locker room. That's the first time I've said that about Brad in a while. And I think a big part of it is the guys he brought in. Like I think Damask and Harmon and Guerrier, to an extent, are all really comfortable playing smaller roles. And that's easy to say because two of them are starting right now. But I just don't think those guys are ever going to be upset. Those guys want to be on winning teams. That matters. And there's a sense of desperation from them because for most of them, it's their last year, right? So you have to pair that group of guys who are here for a year but just want to win with this group of blossoming young talent that's both the freshman class and the sophomore class, right? We like Ty Rodgers individually. We like Sencire Harris individually. You're a huge Luke Goody guy. Dra Gibbs-Lawhorn, we love the talent of. We really do.
Hey, Luke Goody, 3 for 5 from 3 tonight.
He made shots tonight. You said you want to see that, and he made shots. I'm officially willing to table are we sure Luke Goody can shoot, by the way? I think, I forget who it was in our Discord that wanted to say that. I think I'm willing to just buy him as a shooter. But the point is, like, you need to merge those two groups, young talent with this older group. And the simple truth of it is the group you need to prioritize more is the group of young talent, because the group of young talent is the one that it's just of the utmost importance of to keep happy in order to keep the locker room. And of that group, Sencire Harris, and I would also put Ty Rodgers in this category, but I think Ty and Sencire are kind of culture guys. Those are guys that practice what they preach. Those are guys that buy into what Brad has done from the start. And it's hashtag everyday guys. That's who Ty Rodgers and Sencire Harris are. So for this to be Sencire Harris that is doing this, that's great to my perspective. Like, it's a super mature decision. And again, if you told me it was one guy, I would hope it's Sencire because I think he means it. I think other guys might not mean it if they did this. They'd be a little pissed off that they did it. So yeah, I fully expect that this is probably real and that you're not going to have any like, oh, will he, won't he enter the portal type things. That's the last I want to talk about the drama side of it. But I hope people can realize, like, we just talked about it objectively. Like, we're not out here to hate. We're not out here to clickbait. Like, we can assess these situations one by one. And the reason we assessed it so much is because it happened last year. I know that people got really hung up on me saying, like, the last 4 years they kept imploding. Bad choice of words from me. It was really the Sky Clark situation. And then it was the year before with Curbelo, which I know was tied in with mental health, but it still happened. Okay. So the whole goal this year is have a great locker room. They're off to a great start right now. Still surprising we got a red shirt one game into the season, though. Like a little bit of a surprise. Basketball wise, Terrence Shannon's just great. I just want to say that. Start from a positive note. 26 minutes tonight, 16 points. He shot well from 3 again, 3 for 7. But like, aren't you just getting this every single night from Terrence Shannon now?
Yeah. I'm telling you, I'm staying strong. It's going to be a great day when Terrence Shannon Jr. is a first team All-American.
It's such a luxury, man. It truly is. He's just great. He's just so damn solid. Like I think you're right. I think you're on the right path of him being a first team All-American. Okay. I think we talked about the good. We got to be obligated to like reference some of the bad. What was Coleman Hawkins doing tonight?
I'm not really sure. I'd like to ask Coleman what he was doing tonight. Just like I'm laughing just because it's just like what was that? Just 0 for 2, 14 minutes, 0 for 2 from 3, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 point. Just like what is that?
Just like one of those Coleman nights, like
just like just chalk it up to like against Eastern Illinois. Just he had to throw that in there after his really good Kansas game.
Yeah. I don't know. But I thought you were kind of bought in that like those nights were gone, right?
Yeah, that's a little alarming.
Yeah, pretty clear indication maybe they're not gone. But the nice thing is I think Illinois is deep enough that if he's having one of those nights, there's answers. Whereas with Michigan State tonight, they didn't have answers to AJ Hogard having his issues, right?
Right. Yeah, like Coleman struggled tonight and they were able to get 14 minutes, 8 rebounds, 7 points out of Amani Hansberry, and then my dog Danger Zone, but a little light 8 and 6 in 12 minutes. So they have other options to go to if Coleman does do these things.
So I know I'm officially not allowed to ask if any Illinois player is happy, right? That's a rule.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to figure out how I can ask what I want to ask then. Do you know what I want to ask? I'll follow the rule. I'll abide by the rule. I'm not allowed to ask if any Illinois player is unhappy, but.
Well, can you answer yes or no if I ask you if a player is happy?
I don't think so. I don't want to speculate that anyone's happy or unhappy. I just know, like, I think Dane Danger's I'll say what I think. How about that? I think Dane Danger's a bucket and deserves more than 12 minutes. Like, am I allowed to say that? Whether or not he's happy with it. Like, doesn't he deserve more?
Especially in this game, too. That's shocking that he didn't. Like, you saw Gibbs-Lawhorn had Gibbs-Lawhorn played 19 minutes. Honestly, Terrence Shannon playing 26 minutes and Damas playing 29 minutes in this game is pretty surprising. That seems like a lot for a game that you end up winning by 30 points. Am I right?
I mean, ultimately it doesn't matter. Like, they won big, and I want Shannon playing a lot because he's so damn good, and I want him to have first team All-American numbers. But like, I guess what I would say is this: I am surprised. I'm surprised that after the team we saw last season, I'm surprised that Sencire and Dane have just fallen so far out of it. Because to me, those guys were good basketball players that like contributed positively a lot.
Yeah, like out of the guys that played today and the guys that are in the main rotation, Dane played the least amount. Like even Hansberry had 2 more minutes than Danger had.
Yeah, it's like
he played the same amount of minutes as Moretti. Like
I think he's too good for that. But then again, like, it was really balanced, and we're splitting minutes by 2 at this point. But I just, at some point, like, you're a very pro Dane Danger guy. At some point, we want to see him like get 25 minutes and get 20 and 12, right? Like, there's a time and place for that. We love Dane.
I love Dane.
Okay, that's why Brad Underwood gets paid the big bucks and not me, though. That's Daddy Brad for you. Is what it is.
If they keep doing this, you're gonna have a good Christmas this year.
Is what it is. See, to me, this was truly like the perfect Illinois win, because you had, I don't want to use the D word. I'm not going to use the 5-letter D word. You had suspense. You had, they're losing. They're 10 minutes into the game. Oh, like, what's wrong in Champaign? And then you had them turn it on, and Terrence Shannon's awesome. And, DGL's Carson Edwards. This is great. Everybody's great. And then you get through it, and you're like, yeah, Illinois is back. And then you're like, oh, culture locker room guy wants to redshirt. Like it's the perfect 3-hour Illinois
Every
experience.
day, guys.
Every day is right, man. It's every day with these guys. I love it. Congrats though. This was a really good win. They look great on the floor for 75% of this game. I think that's fair to say. Excited to watch more Illinois. Good team.
Better than some teams that look look good for 0% of the game.
Good team. And if you don't mind, could I end this on one more final sincere note? My camera's blurry, so I want to fix it. But I have an actual sincere note for Illini Nation real quick, if you don't mind.
Yeah, sure. Please.
I think that a lot of people in Illini Nation hate us. And then there are some that like us. There's definitely a large contingent that I don't think listen to our show super regularly, that think we are just pure concern trolls. Because we did there was clips of what we said last week that got picked up by like larger Illinois specific coverage that had to dispel things we said that I'm not even quite sure we said. And that's fine. I'm not upset with anybody involved in it whatsoever. But I do just want to say this. I saw a lot of these comments. I read through them a couple times. And some of them were like other Illinois fans or Illinois content creators, Illinois podcasters, Illinois shows that were personally upset that people listen to us and not them. And I just want to mean this genuinely. I hope that Illinois fans listen to us and them. I don't know where or how or why we got this awesome, huge Illinois audience. I feel blessed every day that we have it. It's not like we want to come out and completely clickbait. We don't. In the summer when people were mad we had Illinois in our thumbnails, they called us out on it, and I've stopped. We don't clickbait to clickbait. We don't do it. We talk about Illinois because they're a crazy program with a lot of talent, and we love Brad Underwood. It is what it is. So whether we had 0 listeners or 1 million listeners, we would still talk about Illinois because it's fun for us. And I don't want there to be animosity from hardworking, talented Illinois shows that cover the team with all the passion in the world, that see a Michigan fan and a Michigan State fan covering and get upset that we have an audience. I don't want that to happen. So if you are listening to this and you're an Illinois fan, go find the other shows too. Come back to our show. We appreciate it. We hope that you get something different out of watching our show than you would get from just the Illinois fans that cover it. But there are a lot of really good ones that do. And it's all part of a college basketball balanced diet.
Wow. That was heartfelt.
It is. It doesn't have to be made out to be this big competition. We should all listen to each other and support each other's work. And if you disagree with us, that's totally fine. But let's try to do it in a respectful way and realize we meant nothing malicious from any of this. Is what it is.
I agree with that. It's also in the best interest that they do approach it that way.
Yeah. Okay. All right.